All righty. Dan, I'd like to begin with you. As I mentioned in my introduction, my firm sells a lot of office buildings. I'll bet most of us here spend a lot of time in office buildings. And recently, we had a shooting at an office building in New York at Blackstone's headquarters. And nearly 25 years ago was 9/11, where the office buildings of the World Trade Center were targeted, along with the Pentagon here and another target. You said 9/11 influenced your firm. Can you tell us why and how you got started?
You bet. So 9/11 happened. Had there been signal inside those towers, outside sources could have engaged inside, right? Let them know, hey, there's something happening, get out. In this case, that wasn't the case. So what GUGLI is doing is focused on first responder infrastructure inside buildings, supporting communications through and through. Code came out since 9/11 happened. That code required these first responder systems to work any public accessible building. So as we look at that, data centers, large facilities all have blind spots. This also relates out to exterior outdoor networks. So if you look at the flooding in Texas, the school shootings, all of these post-action reports outline that they had no first responder signal inside these buildings. So we're focused on solving that problem and modernizing what's probably a little too old for what we're focused on today.
Dan, continuing with you, are there and or should there be national standards for public safety radio coverage?
Yeah, they're trying. So it's fragmented. If you look at the jurisdictions, cities, counties, states, even at the fire marshal level, it's all adopted regionally. And if you look at the Department of Commerce, FirstNet Authority is pushing for that fifth carrier to be able to have a blanket of coverage across the country. The problem is these systems get deployed, the red tape's cut, and then they're forgotten about. So if you look at a lot of instances that happen, whether it's in a train station, a large facility, a K through 12 shooting, these examples come out and say, okay, the systems weren't working. There's no functionality besides a one-day check on these systems. So we're trying to modernize that by bringing these systems to date, have AI do predictive analysis, allow these systems to be able to be on air. So when these first responders run into systems or these incidences, they can now act accordingly versus have hours of delay trying to get into there and figure out what's going on and resolve.
Can the U.S. lead in this space?
Absolutely. I mean, we lead in communication, AI, and technology. We just need to bring that to the forefront of public safety initiatives focused on our critical infrastructure. And that's millions and billions of dollars of assets are deployed outdoor, indoor. We have to lead by bringing all these converged technologies together, focused on the infrastructure that's supporting our first responders.
Great, Dan. Thank you. Ken Wake of Ware Malcomb. Ken, I mentioned several notable build-to-suits from these cutting-edge new frontier companies, and I believe you are working on some of them. How has your firm adapted to designing for these new companies?
The new frontier has really affected our company, and it's been amazing. In the last 3 years, we've been very fortunate to win many large manufacturing projects. The types of uses are semiconductor, drones, electric vehicles, EV batteries, data centers, satellites, solar. In 3 years, we've been able to win these types of projects, and we're working with some of the largest general contractors in the U.S. So it's been a huge change. How have we adapted? We have created some many specialized kind of project management teams, and they are supported by our 29 offices and our 900 employees. We also support these teams with focus on innovation. We actually developed a technology team called Digital Transformation. We started it 3 months before ChatGPT was announced. And it's focused on innovative technology solutions, including the use of AI. And this technology has allowed us to be more efficient and create better drawings and just be a better design firm. AI has been a huge game changer for us, and we feel we've been an early adopter.
Thank you. If we were sitting here 10 years from now, what would success look like for your industry, and what contribution would you expect it to have made to the U.S. economy?
As an architect, we've always been asked to quarterback a project. And when we quarterback a project, we're expected to coordinate all the other engineering drawings, the civil, the landscape. Technology is going to change that. I think in 10 years, and we're actually working on a program to add all the information from these different trades into a computer and have it help coordinate the drawings for us. We're not going to create perfect drawings, but we're going to become much better architects. So we're excited that it's really going to change our industry. And architecture in general is very slow to do R&D or spend money on technology. I think that's changing right now, especially with AI.
Washington is signaling support for frontier industries from AI and biotech to space and energy. What specific policy or regulatory changes would most accelerate the scaling of your innovation?
It's obviously the support that the White House is giving these industries, the money that's being put into incentivizing the semiconductor industry, the data center industry. These are all benefiting us as a firm because there's a lot more projects around, and we're very excited about how this is spurring more work for us and for architects across the board.
Thank you, Ken. Matt, with OneCruit, as we've talked about all these new projects and the jobs they are going to create, it seems like there's going to be a lot of demand for talent. How are these companies going to compete for that talent?
OneCruit, we kind of work on two spectrums here. We're all the way on the cool side, what we're talking about this week, which is AI, and we're all the way on the other side of the spectrum where we've got industrial labor. These are people that are running forklifts, picking and packing and doing things inside warehouses. And we've got some clients that are like on the early days today that are adopting some of these technologies to innovate and put some automation in place to cut back on those labor costs. You got people that come in and they fall in the bathroom and then you got a lawsuit. You just all sorts of different problems that you kind of address. So, we're working with a lot of these organizations to put together different ways that they can attract talent, retain talent, and put talent together that is, leveraging parts of AI, but also you've got different recruiting models that you've got to put people out in front of the client. You got to recruit on site, you got to recruit off site, you got to come up with different ways and models to pick up people off the streets.
Aleks, we'll jump to you quick. I mentioned earlier those 3 projects alone will generate 25,000 new jobs. There are countless other projects like them, and most are headed to areas that today cannot support the housing requirements. Can you tell us about Cuby and how it is uniquely trying to solve this problem?
Hey, everyone. For context, Cuby designs, deploys, develops mobile microfactories that produce homes on a last mile basis. So we manufacture, assemble homes, but our product is a mobile microfactory. So we mass produce factories at scale. Those factories produce housing. We're all super excited about the infrastructure moment that's happening in the US, the CapEx super cycle, 200 plus factories headed here, hundreds of thousands of jobs, most of them headed to rural areas. And there's not enough housing to actually support that infrastructure. So we need different ways of actually building that housing better, faster, cheaper.
Construction in general is going to be interesting in this CapEx supercycle, given the labor problems. Can you talk more about construction labor as an issue to execution?
We're missing about 500,000 construction workers in the trades today. We're already underbuilding homes by the millions. And statistically, 40% of our construction labor force is due to retire in the next 10 years. So not only is regulation getting in the way of building more housing, but we actually don't have enough of this construction labor out there to physically build the housing that we need, plus any other type of construction, including some of these factories. And the way to address it is technology, hardware, software, to allow us to build without skilled labor.
Seems like the focus is on the CapEx supercycle to try to get the U.S. humming again. But what about housing? This is also a big problem in the U.S. It seems like all the industrial infrastructures for auto plants, chips, etc. When are we going to industrialize housing?
Well, I'll let you know in the next 5 years. But truly, we need to build. We need to build in construction the way we build everything else, the way we make cars, the way we make computers, microchips. We need to industrialize our construction ecosystem. It's been promised for many, many years. It hasn't happened yet. I think there's a lot of theses that are taking off at the moment, including ours, that I think will make a dent and allow us to build a very cost-effective way, fast, without skilled labor.
Great, thank you. And with that, I'd like to thank our panel. Again, I think we're here at the cusp of the next industrial revolution here in America, and I'd like to welcome up Scott Savian of Jet Zero. Thank you.